When it does. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Oh, don't you look beautiful?
Hello.
So, hello, Patti. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here today so you can tell us a little bit about your experience and tell us a little bit about who you are.
Hello, sweet Melissa of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. My name is Patti Foster. I've been in radio all of my life, down south, up north. I moved back down to Texas, and then, wham, life changed. A semi killed us, ran over our completely stopped Tahoe, and from there, life changed.
So I know that your life changed dramatically, and one of the reasons that happened was there was this very special, precious little Heather that was a part of your life. So before we go into the details of the crash, tell us a little bit about Heather, a couple of things that you remember that are your favorite things.
Heather never met a stranger. She was positive, full of life. To know Heather was to love Heather. She was one of those people, an incredible God follower, very authentic, very genuine, very real, full of love, full of zest, and she loved basketball and probably every sport, who knows. But she loved coming to the Bible study. That was what she was a part of when being a part of the group and where we were going when the crash happened. So Heather leaves a legacy of love.
I really wish I could have met Miss Heather.
You would have loved her.
So do tell us a little bit about that date in 2002 that changed not only Heather's life, but also your life as well. And start off with kind of the date of the crash, where did it happen, what was involved with the person who was driving, what type of impairment did they have, and then kind of what happened on the criminal side of that.
What happened was life changed instantaneously. It was June 18th, 2002. Around 6:40 in the evening, there were 4 of us ladies in a red Tahoe, all being law-abiding citizens, seatbelt on. We had completely stopped at the red light intersection there in Smith County. All lanes of traffic were full. I was sitting behind the driver. I had bought flowers for all the ladies in the Bible study to give them a gift before taking a summer break. We had completely stopped. I'm behind the driver. You can envision this with me. I took off my seatbelt to turn and check on the flowers when, bam, the impact happened. A semi, a tractor, trailer rig, you've seen them, pulling trailer full of cars barreling down the highway at 70 miles per hour, plowed into the back of our Tahoe. Remember where I was sitting, behind the driver? It ejected my body like a missile out of the back opposite side of the Tahoe. Through that pane in the back right side area, not designed to be opened. However, I must have very hot head because my body, the right side of my face here impacted that panel, and then through it my body went. Eyewitnesses said my body went up into the air, suspended in the air above the very SUV I'd been ejected from. When it had spun from beneath me, then shoom, down to the ground I went, and my body skidded some 3 stories across the highway and landed in a lane of traffic. I have no memory of that. Thank goodness I have no nightmare memory. My body was assumed to be dead at the site. White sheet pulled over me, and from my right ear inside and across my cheek. In fact, if you're closer to me, you'll see that's crepe myrtle that's actually still inside of me. Across that right eye, eyelid, and across the forehead, all of that area just completely ripped back to the back of my head, like peering in to see how did God make the brain and the body and the head. The right orifice fractured, eyeball hanging out of its orifice into a rapidly growing pool of my own blood. Well over 60% of my blood was gone. Over 20% of my body, my tissue, gone. Apparently, as onlookers, bystanders milled around the scene, curious looking on, one of them heard a gurgling noise coming from beneath the white sheet. Started yelling, second life flight helicopter contacted, landed at the crash scene. So when the flight medic, flight nurse are attempting to load me onto the helicopter, my body shut down into a coma. So for 6 weeks, I was a living dead person. I had to relearn every single basic function of living. The fellow who killed us, driving the tractor-trailer rig, he had caused many crashes, problems in the past. This one was a wee bit different. This one called him on the carpet, you might say. He had 5 different drugs in his blood. He was talking on his cell phone, completely disconnected from reality. So today, life has changed. And I know for me, being a faith-based human, my faith became so much more real to me when I had to depend on him to make every single moment count to be alive. The system, the machines kept me alive all of those 6 weeks plus. So learning to cope, he's built much of my confidence back, my hope. That's why I do what I do now. I travel all over the world speaking about brain injury, traumatic brain injury, and how to keep trying, not to give up, make a difference now.
Wow, Patti, that is so amazing what you've been through, and you are truly a miracle.
Amen.
And
Thank
inspiration to many.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what happened to this person who was so disconnected from reality.
He was given 3 life sentences back to back. For me, I pray for him often. I know that when tough times happen, suddenly you're forced to decide, what do you really believe? What's really important? And for me, even some things I gain from that, I can quickly say, be about what matters. Pursue life and pursue purpose after change. Persevere through adversity, not around it, not beneath it, not above it, through. Ask for help. We need each other. Let down the wall. People need people.
Yes, ma'am, we do. We do. And in speaking of people needing people, I do feel that what you're doing with MADD and helping other people is making life differences and life changes. So tell us a little bit about how MADD has helped you, and how did your advocate help you through this difficult time?
My advocate is amazing. Melissa, or Melissacita, as I call her, goes out of her way to pay attention to details, to remember, to celebrate the moment, celebrate every tiny bit of progress. That's persevering. Mothers Against Drunk Driving has given me so many opportunities to grow my confidence back in speaking. I mean, because before that, like I said, I was in media. I was a public speaker. I was a full-time motivational speaker before the crash. But having to relearn all of those basic functions, that part of me had to be relearned. And thankfully, it did come back and continues to be polished and used and utilized to give others hope and a reason to keep trying. Don't give up, because we can certainly have an influence, a positive influence on others to make a good choice, a healthy choice, draw healthy boundaries, make a difference now, step by step, moment by moment.
And I think you've already touched on exactly how you volunteer with MADD. What does it mean to you as far as your speaking and your volunteer work, and how it's helped with your grief and your healing journey? Because I know we lost sweet little Heather through the process.
I think one process that it's really helped me is healing. Each time that I tell my story or answer questions or have a Q&A time with anyone, I believe healing continues to grow, mature, develop in my insights through going through thinking about, reliving, learning from, and laying hold of that moment. So I believe the healing comes in. Plus, not only does it help me, but it helps others, because it begins to give them the opportunity to make a change, to see where they need to make a change or where a change needs to be chosen. And it helps the family to lean toward health or growth or healing emotionally, mentally, through the whole physical journey of healing after any kind of trauma, any kind of abuse, any kind of problem. Again, it comes back to we need each other. People need people.
Yes, ma'am, we do. I want to thank you so much for giving your time today, Patti, and sharing your story and Heather's story with us. And thank you so much for continuing to change lives every single day.
Thank you.
I love that you're
Thanks
part
so
of
much.
my life.
Thank you. I love you. God bless you, huge mothers against drunk driving. You make a difference.